Alright, Gio, look, here's the deal, mate. We've only got one set of the upgraded side pods for this weekend, only one set ready, so we're going to stick them on your car, but whatever you do, mate, don't crash, don't damage them, because if that happens, that's it, mate, we can't replace them, okay? Oh, and if Mick says anything, same ones are on his car, right, mate? Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. It is the Belgian Grand Prix today. It is a sprint weekend, so we're going to be as quick as we can here because it takes a little bit longer to get through everything. And the one thing that we do have to update you on, it's only been 4 days since the last race in Hungary, but the one thing we do have, if we go to Giovinazzi's car, we have got updated side pods on his car. So it does, you can see there, it does help us out a little bit. So that's good. It always seems like it's absolutely nothing, doesn't it? But it does help us, and hopefully we'll see a benefit of that during the race. So we can see there what it's supposed to do, and yeah, it'll be exciting, I'm sure. Quick update of the championship standings and all that kind of stuff. We are still third. We lost out a little bit, didn't we, in Hungary? So, yeah, that's not... Was it Hungary last race? I think it was Hungary. Anyway, Giovinazzi sits 5th in the drivers. Mick sits 7th. I mean, in theory, that's why I've given Giovinazzi the new parts, but in all honesty, I mean, I just trust him a little bit more than I do Mick. So, cue Giovinazzi sticking it in the fence somewhere in pre-practice, no doubt. Now, as I said, there's nothing else to catch you up on, so let's go and have a look at the race. The Spa track, are we expecting any rain? No, we're not, so that's a nice easy one for me. So it is red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. We can see there the sections by speed. I love Spa, it's such a good track, isn't it? Top speed, acceleration, high speed corners are what we want. Time considerations, if you get a safety car, it halves your pit stop time. You definitely want to take it. Expected strategies, it's more or less going to be a one-stop, but of course it's going to be dependent a little bit on what tyres we have left, of course. And if we look at all the tyre information here, we can see the soft tyre is quite a bit quicker, certainly than the hard, but it does degrade more than twice as quickly. So I think the medium and soft tyres are going to be the ones you want. But a hard tyre on a long stint, especially if you get an early safety car or something like that, don't have a good qualifying, might be worthwhile doing. Historically, like most tracks, Verstappen in a Red Bull does okay here, and Hamilton and Leclerc in a Ferrari won it back in 2019 as well. So that's all very exciting. The other thing we got, the elephant in the room, is we may need to look at taking penalties this weekend. Being a sprint weekend, I'm wondering... yeah, especially Mick's ERS, it might need to happen this weekend. I don't know if it's going to get through a sprint weekend in any sort of great condition. But anyway, let's have a look at our performance targets here. So qualifying, both cars in the top 4. I hope, I wish, I dream. Fastest lap is wanted in the race, and someone in the top 4. That should be doable. And qualifying, both cars in the top 6, and finishing position, one car in the top 6 for 2 races. Again, especially the race one, that should be something we can manage to do, shouldn't it? So let's head off to Spa here. Sprint weekend, it's going to be a busy one. So there we go, confirmation of the weather. We've got one free practice to get this set up right. I'm going to go and try and nail it. Alright, Friday qualifying, gotta love it, don't you? FP1, it went okay. Now we've got old engine parts in, so yeah, I mean, we were smoking around as we went, but 10th and 13th it was, which is fine. Now I think we are going to take a car penalty, an engine penalty here, I should say, with Mick. I'll show you roughly how we're looking here. The one concern, I'm not actually going to buy the engine, but cash remaining is I mean, we get money, but it's the cost cap. We are getting shockingly low on our cost cap. Which is a concern, I've got to say. So we might need to, yeah, be a little bit careful how we're going with in terms of developing the car and getting next year's car sort of raring to go. You can see here gearboxes as well. We're getting a little bit close with Giovinazzi. We probably need to take one more before the end of the season. But yeah, the engine, Mick is not a mile away from needing a new engine. And then if we go and have a look at his ERS, we're going to take a new one, and that's not going to get us to the end of the year. The fact that this is a track that's relatively easy to overtake on, I think it's probably a good time to take it, and I think we might, for a sprint weekend, use this gearbox, and that'll essentially write that off as the one that's usable in the race. and then we'll go to the number 7 there as our race 1 for as long as we can. Setups, you'll notice we don't know exactly what we've got yet. One free practice session will do that to you. Q1 shouldn't be a problem, so hopefully I'll be able to come back and just confirm that for you. So indeed, we were absolutely fine. We did a second run with Mick. He went much quicker on the second run, but he would have been fine without doing it. So in hindsight, wish we hadn't done that. But anyway, on to Q2 we go. Okay, so Giovinazzi is being a moron here and driving right at the back of a Mercedes. I really hope he can get a tow and get an overtake done. And I mean, it's the only way this is going to work out for him. He's currently sitting 6th. Neither of the cars on used tyres did a cracking first lap. We need to get a tow and an overtake here, otherwise this is going to be his lap ruined. Mick is a little bit further back and he's in danger. He's 14th. He, I think, did get blocked on his first lap, and he's not done much better in his second lap. At least there's another car right in front of him, though. I mean, what is Giovinazzi doing? I tried to tell him to drive in clean. So that's Giovinazzi's lap ruined, so he's in some trouble. Let's see what Mick can do here. What are cars doing in front of us here? So Mick's got through that traffic not too badly, and Giovinazzi's about to come up and cross the line. I doubt he's going to go quicker with that massive lift that we were on board for, and he does stay 9th. Mick goes 11th, so Mick is out with the grid penalty. Giovinazzi gets through though. So there we go, 11th. Now, of course, this is just where he's going to start the sprint race, because obviously, you know, the sprint race is still qualifying for us in this in the game. Anyway, Gio into Q3. All right, here we go. Giovinazzi on a used set of tyres is 5th. Only the best part of 4th. Oh, he didn't get there. Well, we gave him. I thought I gave him enough time. I gave him the same amount of time as Q1 to get around. Obviously, he did have to lift to let Gasly through, or one of the Alpines through on a fast lap. And he's taken a bit too much time to get there. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic, wasn't it? So in the end, he stays 5th. Yeah, that's a shame. Mostly because he burnt up a set of tyres for no reason, for one lap of them anyway. Alright, so sprint weekend. Let's have a look here. Does a soft tyre get you there? It does. Do we worry about drop-off? And being on a medium, being able to push a little bit harder. I wonder if we split it. We'll go Giovinazzi on a soft, just driving your normal race. Yeah, so that's fine. Then I wonder if with Mick we go onto a medium and we tell him to go and push and see what he can do. Now his grid penalty isn't for the sprint race; it'll take effect for the main race. So yeah, we've got to remember that this is his big chance to score points because he's going to be wrong way down the back for the main thing. All right, and here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we can do. Alonso has been very quick all through free practice and whatnot. There was an FP2 session that I sort of just went out just to make sure that we got rid of the tyres we wanted to get rid of, as Stroll sneaks one up the inside of Giovinazzi, but not for long, Lance, as we come back on him, so that's good. We should be able to maintain our 5th position there, which of course points down to 8th. So it is important. Actually, no, Stroll got Giovinazzi back, so that's annoying. I know you guys have been saying in the comments, Stroll is so ridiculously overpowered in the game, isn't he, compared to what he's like in real life. And what about his tantrum in Qatar? He's just... Oh, Jesus, we're going down another spot here. Giovinazzi, come on, man. This is not great. I wonder if everybody is pushing on the tyres a little bit more, and that's what's going on. He's going to lose another spot. Antonio, don't make me use your first name. That means you're in trouble. Maybe the new side pods aren't all what they're cracked up to be. Yeah, I mean, we're going backwards, which is concerning. I can only think everybody else is pushing on their tyres, and that's what's allowing it to happen, because we are deploying as well, which we're actually not doing with Mick, which is silly, so we're going to do that now. So he goes back some positions as well. So this has not started well. We're looking at 1 point as things stand. Oh, so we've got a virtual safety car. Everybody,
could be a lot of debris here.
From our point of view, seems to be okay. What has happened here? Now, this is, of course, a qualifying race as well, and it's Alonso and oh no, it's not. It's Perez. And Alonso looks like he just turned in on him there, to be honest. but that's going to hurt them for the race, isn't it? So they are both out of the race. Vio about to end. There we go. He'll be going back to green flag now. So they're both out of the race, which means they'll be starting last and second last. Alonso has a penalty as well, which should mean, no matter what, that he will be starting behind Mick, I would have thought. So that can only be a good thing for us. So I wonder now with Giovinazzi, I think what we're better off doing is saving his tyres a little bit and having them at the end. If everybody's pushing on now, then, you know, if we have them at the end, that will benefit us there. We do have some DRS here as well, which Ocon doesn't have, but doesn't look like anything's going to come of that. So yeah, this has taken a sudden and dramatic turn, and of course Alonso in a fast Aston Martin being at the back, that can only be a good thing for us, can't it? Alright, well, we just really seem to be lacking pace with both cars. Both cars are now on full attack on their tyres. Mick can do it and get it to the end quite okay. Giovinazzi, I'm a little bit more nervous about doing it, but, I mean, we're a second slower than a Haas. So that can't be right, unless they've bought the mother of all upgrades, but surely not. So we'll see what sort of lap time we do this lap. It looks as though we are closing in, so maybe everybody has been going full send. You can see here that the leaders are coming back to us. We're not that far off of them, so maybe it is just a case of they've all pushed really early. We do have more tyre life than all of them, so yeah. Hopefully I've managed this well, and we're going to come good late, but we'll have to wait and see. So the problem that we have is that we're now stuck in a DRS train. So we're deploying. We're just going to try and overtake in weird areas because I don't think we're going to be able to do it. You know, with the DRS. We've got a yellow flag. Hopefully, oh, there we go. Nice move, Giovinazzi up into 6th. So yeah, we're gonna. There's not much point in deploying, I don't think, down the straights because it's a DRS train. We actually might even be better off harvesting and yeah, trying to overtake down the rest of the lap where there is no DRS. So we'll see how that works out. Mick is 5 seconds back. Mick's going to finish 8th, which is a point, which isn't terrible, obviously, but yeah, we'll see. Now let's see how deploying down the sort of this back part of the lap works. Can we go and get K-Mag? Looks as though we might be able to. We've got to be a little bit careful on these tyres here. We're starting to overuse them, I think. But we are all over the back of Kevin Magnussen now, and that is surely a move, is it, with our deploy as well? Got to be a little bit careful on our petrol. We've burnt off the excess that we got under the virtual safety car. So we do have back up into 5th. Next up it is George Russell. And I think we out-qualified him, so let's see what we can do here. 3 laps to go. Conscious that this is a sprint weekend, and we don't want to waste too much time here on the sprint race. But this is a good sprint race for us. All right, let's go deploy again, and let's see if we can go and get George Russell, and then we're going to have to be a little bit more strategic about how we're using this, I think. But if we can get George Russell, he doesn't have he's outside of the DRS, so if we can get up to the back of him here. How's everybody else's tyres looking? So we've used more now than everybody else. So I don't really understand why exactly we were so slow in relation to the rest of the field at the start, but we've come back into it, so whatever we were doing, it wasn't terrible, and we're not that far off the lead here either. So we'll keep deploying while we have a DRS advantage. And then this is going to more or less be it then. We've used that, so we'll go back to neutral. And ideally, we'll get George Russell here, but I don't know that we've got quite enough pace, do we? Lap and a half to go. We're going to struggle to get this overtake done now, I think. Okay, so last lap up the Camel Straight. I think George Russell is going to have DRS. We've gone back to complete tyre burn because we've got nothing to lose really at this point. And yeah, just DRS training. So let's go deploy now, see if we can get something done through this twisty section. Our tyres aren't going to be in as good a condition, but I think we're pushing them a little bit harder now, and we're deploying as well. Can we do something, somewhere, to get this overtake done and get ourselves up to 4th, which would be a decent starting spot? Can we get it done there? I think we have. We will keep deploying, and Giovinazzi, that could well be 4th place for him. Mick, I don't think, is going to be able to catch the back of this group. No, so he's going to finish 8th. So Giovinazzi will finish the sprint in 4th. Mick will finish the sprint in 8th. It's some decent points for us. And it's a good starting position for Giovinazzi for the main event as well.
Max Verstappen.
So there we go, 5 points for Giovinazzi, 1 for Mick. That's obviously 6 into the constructors, so we've just leveled out with what Aston Martin have done there. So we haven't lost anything, haven't gained anything. We have lost a little bit on Mercedes, though, it looks like. But anyway, main event is the race. Let's see our strategy for that. So it's a 10-place grid penalty for Mick, puts him down to 17th. That stings, doesn't it? So what do we do from there? Let's have a look at our options. A medium hard is... not really required. A soft medium. I know what I think with Mick we're going to do, start on a hard and go to a soft late on. So the problem we have with Giovinazzi is we only have one set of new soft tyres and one set that's just done that sort of half lap in qualifying. I'm wondering, I think we start on this, but I'm thinking we could do it like 2 push, depending how it's going. We could sort of do 2 really big pushes on a medium tyre and then a push on a soft tyre at the end. But I think we'll go with that for now. And then Mick starting 17th, I think we do, because he has more soft tyres. So I think what we maybe do with him then, do we want to make an extra, it's only a 6, it's not a huge loss, is it? And if there's a safety car, then it might work out for us as well. So let's go really aggressive with Mick. No, I've changed my mind. We're going to do hard, soft, and then if we get a safety car, we can come in with that, and then we can go on to a 3-stop with him. So I think I like that. At some point, we should get some clear air, and then we can go. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. Let's hope we get some big points here. Okay, welcome back. Oh, look at Hamilton. That's aggressive. So there we go. We've got Giovinazzi there in 4th, Mick down in 17th. It looks as though Alonso is all the way at the back of the field, which is good, and Perez as well. Though Perez in Red Bull's not really our fight necessarily, but we've taken Stroll off the line, so that's, I think, our main task here is if we can get Giovinazzi ahead of Stroll. That's going to help us in the constructors, and then if Mick can just get back to points, just score what he can, then that would be brilliant. If we look at tyres, what's everybody on? So Mick's the only one on a hard. So, yeah, that should bode well for him later in the race, coming in onto a soft. But we'll have to obviously wait and see how things play out here. So it's Hamilton in front of us right now. Verstappen, as we have come to expect, has just galloped off into the different distance. Perez has got Mick. I mean, in a way, that's maybe not the worst if Mick can just sort of follow him through. Yeah, that hard tyre though it's gonna come to him a little bit later on in the race. So he just needs to just try and make up as many positions as he can, sort of get up and past Ricciardo-ish, Albon. He can get to the edge of that top 10, and then sort of go on with it from there. But yeah, it's looking as though we might be on for second here, though we are deploying if Stroll and that behind us aren't, and Hamilton in front of us as well. But if we can stay within DRS, then we should have a decent chance, at least of a podium. At least of a podium here. Let's go back and have a quick glance at what Mick's doing. He's got Guan Yu Zhou in front of him, or Zhou Guan Yu. Can we stick a move on him? Not quite. DRS is now enabled, so that's good. We can go back to neutral here. I think Hamilton's just managed to get himself back into DRS, hasn't he? So we're in the old-fashioned DRS train, but that's not the worst place for us to be. And Mick just needs to find a way to get some overtakes done. Can he get one there up the inside? Nicely done, Mickey boy. Nicely done. All right, let's go chase down Perez now. All right, so 10 laps gone, 11 laps gone. We are more or less at a quarter race distance here. We've got Giovinazzi. We did lose a position to Stroll, but you can see here he's sort of still right with him and Hamilton, although they look like they've kicked up the pace a bit this lap. Mick is doing okay. He's pretty much doing what I asked him to do. He's just getting himself back as Giovinazzi's lost out to Russell now as well. Was that DRS at the end of the straight? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it was. Shouldn't get him from there though, should he? That's a little bit early on the brakes, I should say, for Giovinazzi. So, yeah, he's not having a great race. Hopefully it comes back to him a little bit. But yeah, Mick is doing okay. Alonso and Perez they've left him. They're much quicker than what he is. But yeah, if he can get to the points, then I'll be happy with him as Giovinazzi gets Russell back. So that's nice to see. Anyway, pit stops shouldn't be too far away here, and then we'll see where Giovinazzi shakes out after that. Up to third now. So Mick with a very nice move around the outside of Alexander Albon at P1, I think that is, isn't it? So yeah, very nicely done by him. Let's hope he can move on now a little bit further up the field. He is currently in 11th, and he's got an 11-second gap to the point, so he can push on. Giovinazzi is coming in this lap. He is currently third. You can see we've got Stroll just in front. Hamilton is about almost 2 seconds behind, so he has sort of leveled out in third. Perez is coming to the pits, and did Alonso? No, Alonso hasn't pitted yet. So there is 1 or 2 guys that have started to pit. But yeah, let's hope that Giovinazzi gets one of our good stops, not one of the bad ones. We'll keep pushing Schumacher on now. This is where he's got the 11-second gap to kind of drive into. So yeah, good opportunity for him to try and use that to the best that he can. But everybody, if you've got something to cross, do it, because we are about to come into the pits with Giovinazzi. Chance of an undercut here on Stroll as well. The Stroll was on a medium, I think, wasn't he? Yeah. So here we go. We had to wait for a little bit there for the Alpine, which isn't ideal, but we can hardly blame the pit crew for that, can we? So we come out just behind Hulkenberg. Ahead of Perez, though, which might be key. Let's go on to deploy. And, yeah, try and make the most of these laps. See if we can get ourselves ahead of Stroll in this pit sequence even. Magnussen's having a good race up there in third, isn't he? Ahead of Hamilton now. So, yeah, the Haas's are looking good. Now, I can't actually push it too much, can I, though? Because the tyres are only just going to get there. So, scrap that. We'll just deploy. We'll use a little bit of extra petrol here. If we can get... We need to kind of get up to the back of Hulkenberg here and then drive straight past him, ideally. And it looks like we might be about to do that. Thank you, Nico, for letting us pass. And that is up into P8. And... yeah, these are big laps now for Giovinazzi. Huge laps even. He's still in some good sector times as well. Well, it's a very Sergio Perez weekend. He has crashed, and he's done it all by himself. Disappeared through the fence. He's so good at crashing into walls. So is that going to... No, it's not going to be a safety car or anything. It would have been a very well-timed one for Mick, actually. Because he is due a pit stop. We're in his window, so he's due a pit stop soon. But, yeah... Hamilton and Verstappen. What happened to Verstappen to begin again? Is he already stopped? So Giovinazzi is going to go third ahead of Max Verstappen. I thought he had already stopped, if I'm honest. But maybe not. He's out on a soft tyre, so he's going to be rapid. But 9 seconds. We've got a 10-second gap with Giovinazzi. It's unlikely to be enough. But you do never know. Alright, Mick is coming in this lap. We were just basically watching his sector times. As soon as he wasn't able to keep going faster on his sort of really pushing his soft tyres, then we've come in. So 15 laps to go for him, which is basically the sprint race on his soft tyres. Now we saw everybody was able to push that the soft tyre quite a little bit. In that 15 laps. So I'm going to say Giovinazzi here can he... let's wait. Giovinazzi's leading the race, just by the way, which is great news. His lead right now, you can see he is quite a bit slower than those behind him, and he is actually holding up traffic. So he's unlikely to stay there. Let's maybe just push him a little bit on those tyres. We've got a little bit of wiggle room there. And Mick in 12th, he's got a decent chance, I would say, of getting himself back to the points here. He's got Norris, 8 seconds ahead. So we'll see. He's got to get past Hulkenberg first, who we can see is being caught here quite quickly. And yeah, let's do deploy, and let's go for fastest lap of the race here with Mick as well. He should be absolutely rapid. So yeah, what have we done first sector? Only green, which is not ideal, but we might lack a little bit of straight line speed right now. Let's see what he can do through the middle of the lap. Is it going to be a purple? It should be just here somewhere, we find out. Here somewhere, anywhere here. I'm sure it's there. No, he's not. So he's not going to do the fastest lap of the race. He's not even doing his own fastest lap of the race, which is really disappointing. It shows how good he was going on the hard tyre, doesn't it? Let's go and have a look at what lap time he does do. First flying lap, it is a 44, so he's only really matching Hulkenberg in front, which is, I'm going to be honest, disappointing. Alright, so we have sort of caught the back of Norris at the same time as Hulkenberg has here, so that sort of explains Hulkenberg's pace a little bit. So this is 10th place here and a point, but Giovinazzi is being caught by Alonso, who just did a 41. A 41.9 compared to us doing low 44s. He's absolutely flying as Alonso, and that's a massive shame for the constructors, I've got to say. I'm expecting him to come past us any minute now, and if he's got that sort of speed in his car, he's come from the back, hasn't he? And he's going to win the race. If he's 3 seconds a lap faster, I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's not... There he goes. But on a soft tyre as well. I mean, we will obviously try and sit here and stay in the DRS and all that kind of stuff, but I just think he's too quick. If I'm completely honest, I don't know what you can do when somebody is 3 seconds a lap faster. That's not driver, that's driver and car, isn't it? So yeah, good luck with that one, Gio. He's still a decent chance of getting on the podium though. Verstappen's still 2 seconds back. So yeah, if he can manage to stay with Alonso, which looks highly unlikely right now, can we kind of deploy and try and stay in DRS? I mean, staying in DRS could be huge, if for no other reason than it will keep us away from Max as well, won't it? But anyway, still a few laps to go here. It's a long lap, of course, so we'll come back for the last few and see if there is maybe a win on the cards here, but it's going to be very, very tough with Alonso this fast.
Here we are then.
Alright, so a big overtake here for Mick around the outside of Lando Norris. He needed to get that done because we can see Hulkenberg is already there, already got past him. He's the last point, so that's a big overtake there for Mick. And unfortunately, we have just, and I mean just, lost DRS on Alonso. So that's going to be very, very hard to get back now. And it's not looking like it's going to be a win. I don't think we were necessarily expecting a win, to be honest. I certainly wasn't. But Verstappen, with 4 laps to go, is 3 seconds back. Oh, and Mick's got Hulk. Well, how's he done that? Must be, is it DRS? He's gone around the outside at the hairpin and La Source, that is, isn't it? And then he's just driven straight past him. Well done, Mick. Up into the points. Go, mate. Go. Keep going now. Alright, so we are about to come around and start the last lap. Giovinazzi is still hanging on to 2nd place, which is absolutely huge. And yeah, here comes the last lap. Alonso has just started it. We are going to deploy, and if we can keep Verstappen away from us, he is just outside DRS, I think. So we'll deploy. If he doesn't get us up Camel Straight, I don't know when he's going to be able to. So that is huge. We will save a little bit to try and just make sure that running up into the bus stop chicane at the end of the lap is covered. But I think Max has given everything to try and catch us, and he's not going to quite manage to do it. Max is going to finish 10th. He's pulled out a real big gap on Hulkenberg, and that's a decent drive from him, to be honest. But Giovinazzi out of absolutely nowhere this weekend. Yes, we're going to see a victory for Fernando Alonso, and that is disappointing. But Antonio Giovinazzi will finish second in Belgium, ahead of Max Verstappen, ahead of Lance Stroll, and that is not the worst thing to happen to us, is it? And Mick is going to, from essentially the back of the grid, drive himself up into the points. It is just the single point, but we'll take it, even if we do lose out to Aston Martin this particular weekend.
Taking it back.
So I didn't give him a chance all race, and yeah, I mean, he led it for a long time in the end. Alonso up 19, you just got to hold your hands up and say brilliant drive for him. But 18 points for Giovinazzi. Mick up 7 as well is a very good effort indeed. I mean, look at that fastest lap. It is seconds. Literally seconds faster than anybody else. That is ridiculous, Fernando. So he goes to second in the drivers. Antonio stays 5th. Mick is staying in 7th. And if we look at the constructors, again, Aston Martin have had a very good day there, haven't they? They've actually pulled some points back on Red Bull there, but Mercedes have closed in 2 on us as well. Not a great day in terms of the overall points in this championship, but a second place for Gio is absolutely brilliant. And pit stops, as expected, not in the top 10. So we still, we're at a long last as well. An absolute mile last. Look at that. 21 points for Haas, 6 for Ferrari. I'm pretty sure we got them in the first race of the year as well. We are absolutely disgraceful. So this takes us to the summer break. We can see the mid-season board review. Now, to say what their actual confidence is, we are below the target. We're not going to get the target. I mean, I think they're still high confidence, so that's good. That's good. I mean, we're getting podiums, winning races. Hopefully they can see that if Aston Martin are just better than us, then there's not much we can do about it. But that, as I said, brings us to the summer break. 25 days now to the Dutch Grand Prix. We'll have new side pods on both cars. We should have a new front wing on both cars as well. And I don't think there's anything else that's coming. And that'll probably just about be it then, I think. We'll have to check the cost cap and make sure we're not going to bust through that. We need to have a little bit aside, I think, for engines, because we're going to need new ones. But anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you at Zandvoort in the next one. Take care.